Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jonathan. It's springtime and I hope this finds you and your family really well. So for the watch enthusiasts out there, it's been an exciting time, particularly with Rolex as they've introduced their fantastic new collection. And my God, they've made some changes, some really interesting watches. But of course, it's not all about Rolex. There's been some fantastic models coming out from different brands too. On today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 fantastic sports Rolexes that we've just got into stock. So if that's something you'd like to see, then please hang tight. So you've been asking, where have I been? Some of you have been phoning me, emailing me. I've just been having a little bit of time off, just enjoying a bit of family life, out walking the dog, just doing the things I love to do. YouTube is not something I do every day. I'm not a YouTuber. I just enjoying shooting videos for you to enjoy. And I love the feedback you give me, and that's kind of what motivates me to do it again. So before we start, I'm going to show you what I'm wearing today. Now, it's not a Rolex, it's an IWC. In fact, it's an IWC Spitfire, a very iconic model within the range. It's one I actually had a few years ago and sold. And this watch just came in the other day. It was traded in against that lovely Tiffany Oyster Perpetual. And as you can see here, it's fitted in rose gold with an alligator strap, classic black dial, and really is an absolute me watch. I absolutely love it. Now you can see I'm wearing it here on my left wrist. Now that is the wrist I wear my watch on. And sometimes people write to me saying, Jonathan, why do you always show the watches on your right wrist? Well, the answer is, when I broke my back about nearly 26 years ago when I fell off my motorbike, which I think lots of you know, I also broke all my ribs, I punctured my lungs, I broke my shoulder, and I broke my wrist, and I made a real mess of my wrist. So my wrist isn't exactly the most attractive wrist to look at, and therefore the right one is working very well. So that's why the watches are on my right wrist. So without further ado, let's go and have a look at some Rolex watches. And what better place to start than the Batman? So this one, we have one of my absolute favorites from when they came out in round about 2013. And for the very few of you out there who Batman means nothing to you, well, this is the GMT-Master 2 in stainless steel with this gorgeous black and blue ceramic bezel on it. Now this is where it all started. In 2018, they introduced what we affectionately know as the Batgirl, which was essentially the same watch, but they put a Jubilee bracelet on it and also took the opportunity of introducing a new movement in it with a bigger power reserve, just as accurate, plus or minus 2 seconds per day. And then the Oyster bracelet came back out again, except this time you now have a choice. You can have an Oyster or a Jubilee. So it's very much down to you what you prefer most. But a lovely watch, 40mm case size, and that's the size the GMT has always been. It has the larger still kept that maxi case design there, unlike the change with the Submariner. Lovely big lume plots, so for nighttime reading it's really good. And here you can just see it has the blue second hand there, which is for the GMT zone, so allowing you to enjoy time in 2 different continents, as it were. The bezel here, the insert, as I mentioned earlier, is ceramic blue-black, but it's actually a stainless steel bezel that it actually sits within. So this is very much a watch for all occasions, of course designed by Rolex for pilots traveling the world, and it's just a really lovely watch. It's also quite a slim watch. You can see there, the side of the case there, it's in polished stainless steel. The stainless steel that Rolex use is 904 L grade stainless steel, so a really optimum steel that's all manufactured in-house, and hence they obviously can maintain the quality they want to do. For those of you wanting to wear a watch in the water, well, no problem. This one's designed to take you down to 100 meters. So that's going to be, I think, enough for most of you. But you just need to make sure that this crown is screwed tightly into the case to keep that watertight. The bracelet, as I say on this one, is the Oyster bracelet. And you can see there, it has that combination of that brushed, that satinized look on the outside, but with the elegance of the polished center links going through the middle. The clasp, again, good, solid, strong, dependable clasp there with the Rolex crown on it there. And this features the Easy Link function as well, which was brought out round about 2000 and I think 7. I think when the GMT first came out, was one of the first models to have that. And if I just pull that there, you can just see there, it actually extends there just to give you a little bit more space in the wrist when your wrist expands. Now, for those of you who maybe have one of these with the Easy Link function, not quite sure how it's worked, and if you look back to one of my historical videos, you'll actually see how it works there. So a really, really nice all-round watch. For those of you who follow the market, of course, the market's changed significantly since the pandemic we've been through. Prices were very, very high, and they have come down quite a lot. So it's still significantly over list, but if you're looking to pick up a GMT or any of these sports watches we've got now, you will have noticed that they have come down quite considerably. So I'll show you this one on the wrist. As I say, 40 mils, a good size for me. And just looking down at the camera there to make sure we've got it focused there for you. But it is just a really, really great looking watch. You can see there how the bracelet tapers down. And if I hold it up to camera there, you can see it's quite a slim watch as well. So this is one that's very much going to sit underneath your shirt cuff. Beautiful, beautiful watch. I'm going to show you the Pepsi shortly as well, which again, same watch, different color set, but it is quite a bit more expensive. They just do command that little bit more. Now, all of these watches I'm going to show you at time of creating this video today are available on our website, and all the details there, specification, the year, some photographs I've taken of the watches as well, so you can go and find out more about them. If it's not there, then we probably sold it, so by all means drop me an email and then we can let you know when the next ones come in. So now we have the Pepsi. So really everything the same as the Batman I've just shown you, except a different color set. And here with the blue and the red, which again, a very, very difficult thing for Rolex to do, to integrate these two colors together within the ceramic on the bezel here, but it looks quite striking. And of course, this is the modern iteration of the Pepsi that's been around for a long, long time. And I must say the colors work very, very well. Of course, the difference here that the GMT hand there is red compared to the Batman that had the blue hand. And again, these watches are available with the Oyster or the Jubilee bracelet. We've actually got a Jubilee one as well. It's not actually on the website yet, but that's, I think, a 2019 one we've just got in. So that should be back with us shortly. This particular one is a 2022 watch, and it's unworn. And I remember that these watches, back in the pandemic, they were 22,000. We've got this one now for round about the 18 mark. So they have come back a lot. But, for a watch to wear every day, super comfortable, very strong in stainless steel. Of course, that's waterproof. It's a watch for all occasions. It will look great with a t-shirt, great with a dinner suit. A one watch for all. I think it's absolutely lovely. I guess traditionally a watch for gentlemen to wear, but hey, ladies are wearing these watches too now, so very much a unisex watch. I think they look very, very cool on a lady's wrist. Again, as with the GMT Oyster bracelet, and just an absolutely lovely watch. Do that on the wrist there. Lovely colors, aren't they? Work really, really well. So that is the GMT-Master 2, the Pepsi, a 2022 one. Now we come to one of my favorites in the range. This is the Rolex Yacht-Master. And the Yacht-Master has been out for some time, and I think Rolex very, very cleverly have introduced a really lovely range of models in the Yacht-Master. I'm talking here about the Yacht-Master 1, which of course is the 40 mil one. They've been out for a long time originally, with a silver dial, and then they offered them with stainless steel and gold, and of course all gold. They then brought out the rose gold with the Oyster Flex strap, decided then to bring out a 42 mil in white gold, and just recently at Watches and Wonders, they introduced the new titanium one, which is an absolute cracker, very, very light, and I think that will be one of the watches for the summer for those of you actually lucky enough to get it. This one, however, is the 40mm, as you can see here, finished in rhodium. The rhodium grey dial with a pale blue second hand, contrasting beautifully against the grey dial. Also available with the blue dial. I'm a real blue fan, so I do love the blue, but the greys are definitely more desirable. They do achieve a little bit more. Now, last year, these watches were sitting around about the 18,000 mark. Very, very hard to get at the time. This one, I think we've got down at 13.5, so just goes to show what a change in the market. And this is a 2022 watch, and again, an unworn watch. Everything I'm showing you today and all the watches on our website, they have all the original box and paper. It's just something that means a lot to me. It's just the way I like to buy my watches. It's the way I know my customers like to have them. Again, some people are quite happy if it's got papers, no box, or without papers. For me, I'm just a box and papered guy. And my customers know that all the watches I have will be like that. So again, this one has the balance of the warranty until 2027 and a good all-rounder. So the Yacht-Master itself is predominantly finished in stainless steel. And again, same theme as the GMT-Masters. It's the 904L grade stainless steel. But the bezel here is in solid platinum. So a very luxurious look and feel to it. And this bezel actually rotates in both directions. It has the date on it as well. And you can see there the magnification times 2.5 times. So a very, very practical watch. It's slightly softer to wear, I'd say, than like a GMT or a Submariner. I'd say they have slightly sharper edges. This is more like a Daytona. It's very, very smooth edges here. And again, the polished side to the case there. It really is a most beautiful watch to wear. It's very, very slim as well. The blue one I actually fitted to a dark blue rubber strap as well, the rubber B strap, and it looked absolutely lovely. It really brought out the red hand on the dial. And they do a pale blue strap, I think, for this as well, which looks quite nice. So you have the traditional oyster bracelet on it there. And again, it has the easy link function on it too, but a super, super slim watch to wear. This one is the 40mm. They also do a 37mm as well. So again, a kind of a unisex size. But we do find the 40 is, you know, a more popular color there. But yeah, it's just lovely, isn't it? A really good all-rounder. So that's Yacht-Master. We're now going to a Submariner that we've just taken in, and this is a 2022, and it's the non-date sub, so that's the reference number 124060, and it's one of the sort of the classics, the sort of that Bond watch. I think very popular amongst enthusiasts who are just wanting that uncomplicated look to the dial. So this one, being a 22 watch, is the 41mm case size. So that was a change that they made in 2020 when the 40mm got discontinued. They put a new movement in it. They made the case lugs here slightly narrower. So I'd say it's somewhere between what the old 5-digit ones would be and the sort of maxi case they had. I do prefer the narrower case lugs on it. Lovely big lume plots there for nighttime reading. Superb movement in it with a 70-hour power reserve, accuracy to plus or minus 2 seconds per day. And yeah, well, this genuinely is a watch for all occasions. It was my first ever Rolex I bought when I was 23, I think. In fact, it was the date I actually went for, and back then it was £800. So I think if I had that today, it would probably be over £8,000. So these are the ones to get really for long term. These are watches that will last you the rest of your life, and it's something you can pass down to the next generation. And I think that's something so nice to see when, you know, I talk to people buying watches themselves and talking about giving it to their kids, and you think about all the memories their children are going to have seeing dad wearing that watch or mum wearing this watch, and then they get that watch. Well, gosh, that's worth, I think, a lot more than a new one, all those memories built into it. But just a really lovely, lovely watch. Again, ceramic bezel on it here, so pretty tough. The Submariner goes down to a 1,000-foot crown, again, screws into the side of the case there. And it features the oyster bracelet on this too. Now you can see there, this has that sort of brushed satinized finish, so no polished center links. So if scratching those polished center links worries you, then the Submariner is definitely one to consider. Now, unlike the GMT-Master that had the Easy Link function, the Submariners and the Sea-Dwellers, they have the glide lock function. Of course, these are watches designed for divers, and therefore you want to easily be able to adjust the size of the bracelet, typically to go over a wetsuit. And you can do that by just gently pulling that, and then here you can just see it slides. But just for more day-to-day use, even if you're not diving, our wrist size changes depending upon the temperature, and you can just very, very easily slide that along and get it right for you. So let's show you that one on the wrist. Now, my wrist size, I think many of you will know already, it's an 8-inch wrist, so perfect for a watch like this. Very, very nice to wear. And again, 41 mil, very, very slim as well. I'll hold that one up to camera in a second so you can see. But there we go. Really slim watch. And yeah, if you want an unfussy sports Rolex, no date to worry about, just something to wear and enjoy for the rest of your life, yeah, this is a good one. A really, really good one. So on the theme of diving watches, we go from this new 41 mil Submariner to the 50th anniversary watch. And this one came out in 2017. It's the Sea-Dweller 43 millimeter. And this one is in fact the Gen 2. This is the 2021 model. So this actually features the latest movement, and you can see there's a little sort of Rolex coronet at the bottom there as well. Sea-Dweller's main difference is, of course, as a tool watch, where the regular Submariner will take you down to 1,000 foot, this one takes you down to 4,000 foot. And if that's not enough for you, you can go for the deep sea, which will take you down to 12,800 foot. And then if that's not enough, well, you've got that new Challenger 1-2, haven't you, that just takes you down to very, very deep at all, but it's absolutely massive. We do very well with these watches, and they don't really sell, pre-owned for that much more than you pay for a Submariner. And I think if you've got a slightly larger wrist, or you've maybe had a Submariner and you fancy a change, something a bit bigger, you've always fancied a Sea-Dweller, but maybe the deep sea is too big for you, then this 50th anniversary Sea-Dweller is definitely worth considering. What's rather nice about it too, you can see across the dial there, it has the red writing with the Sea-Dweller as well, something similar to the old Submariners of old, where they had the red writing on them there too. So it's slightly thicker. If I put it on its side there, you can see it's slightly thicker than the Submariner, and here you have the automatic helium escape valve. Again, for those who are diving with the watch, the helium builds up into the inside of the watch, and this automatically releases that, but I doubt many of you will be using it for that purpose. The watch are made in 904L grade stainless steel, and the bezel here, the ceramic insert here with the bezel turning unidirectionally there, again, something that divers get to use for measuring the oxygen in their tanks, as it were, or practically quite good for parking meters, etc. But it's just a nice feature, and when you turn that, you can really appreciate the engineering that Rolex put into their watches. It's just something quite special when you compare it even to other luxury brands. They do it very, very well. Aside from that, dial quite straightforward. However, for this Sea-Dweller, unusually for Sea-Dwellers, where they've never had the Cyclops magnification here, they have introduced it on this watch here. So that just make it a little bit easier to read. You can see here you've got the crown guards on the side. Of course, this crown screws into the side of the case. And then the bracelet here, slightly wider at the top here. It's 21 mil, as where the more traditional subs were 20 mil. Again, it has this satinized brushed finish to it, and it has the same glide lock clasp that I just showed you in the Submariner, just making it really, really easy to adjust. On the wrist, again, very comfortable to wear, slightly heavier than wearing a Submariner, but I think once it's on your wrist and you kind of get used to it, then it's fine to wear. So I'll just show you it there. There we go. Just looks really, really nice tool watch. And this one I think we've got around about 12,995. So I think it's good value, for a sports Rolex. And I'll just hold this one up here so you can see its kind of thickness on the wrist there. Yeah, I like it. I remember I was actually out at the Bale Watch Fair in 2017 when this watch came out, and I think what they've done is they've kept that Sea-Dweller look, but just made some nice changes to it. And I particularly like the red writing on it. So we've looked at a collection so far of stainless steel watches, but of course bimetals have become very, very popular, particularly since it's so hard to get stainless steel ones, and again, hard to get bimetal ones as well. But here we have the first of two Bluesies to share with you. And this one here is one we took in recently. From my memory, I think it's a 2016. And this is the 40mm case size with the maxi case there. And easiest way to tell this is that, you know, the writing on the dial there is in gold. As well, the new model, the 41mm, they put it in white. So it's quite crisp and white. But again, each their own. Some may prefer gold, some may prefer the white. But these have been a really popular watch for us. Again, I kind of look at this watch and I think it's summertime. I remember I bought one of the original ones in 2006. Oh, I love the watch. I wore it all the time. I think it cost me about £6,500. I sold it secondhand to a dealer for £3,500. Well, I wish I knew then what I know now. I would never have sold it because I think that classic 5-digit 16613 is one of the nicest models out there. However, when that watch stopped and the 40mm Submariner came out around about 2010, it had the new case, it had the ceramic bezel, it had the glide lock bracelet on it, and then it had like a flat blue dial. This, however, has the sunburst dial. The flat blue dial was quite nice. In fact, it was the same dial that was shared with the white gold Submariner. It wasn't a favorite of mine. I must say I did like the sunburst blue, and it wasn't long until Rolex actually changed, and it was late 2013 that the sunburst blue dial came back out, and it absolutely rocks. When the sun hits this dial, it's absolutely beautiful. So same as the stainless steel Submariner I showed you earlier, by means of this one has the probably around about 48-hour movement in it. At this sort of time, 2016, probably -4 to +6 seconds per day, which is good enough for most of us. That's the COSC standard. Of course, Rolex always raising the bar. They've got that down to ±2 seconds per day. But I think it comes sometimes about price as well, because this one, you know, 12,995. The next one we have is a 2021 at 15,250, and we've got another one at 15,495. So it really depends on what sort of budget you have to spend on a watch. But I think this certainly is a really lovely watch to wear. So case in stainless steel, polished sides to it here, polished center links running through the middle, and it features that glide lock clasp on it as well. And here you go, on the wrist. It's just lovely, isn't it? Really, really great watch. One of the absolute classic Rolexes. Dial is amazing. Yeah, I like this one. So that's a really good one. Again, as I said earlier, all with original books and papers. Now, I know some of you, and I thank you, all of you that stick to the end of the video, and sometimes for whatever reason, people dial off a little bit earlier. It's just to say we really appreciate your thoughts and your views. So please do share any comments. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and then you'll be notified of all the latest ones. Just click that bell as well. And it'd be lovely if you just see what we've got coming up less. We're always looking for new ideas as well in what we can do with our videos for you to enjoy. So again, if you've got any thoughts, then either drop me an email, pick up the phone, whatever, and let me know. Okay, so we've gone from a 2016 40mm sub date to the very latest one here, the 41mm case. So very much a very similar look and feel to the original 40mm case there, but this was introduced in 2020. This is the new 41mm, slightly narrow case lugs, slightly wider link at the top there, white writing on the dial, new movement with a 70-hour power reserve, more resistance to shock and magnetism, and just really one of the perfect sports watches if you like that bimetal look with a blue dial. Again, same bracelet. You can just see slightly wider here at the top. The glide lock clasp just works in the same way. Here it is on the wrist. There we go. And I'll just hold this one back up to camera as well. What I'll actually do for you as well, let me just get that other Submariner back, and then we can just have a look. I've put these two down to the camera here, at the two of them together, because if you're thinking, do I want the 40mm, do I want the 41, then this will just maybe help you deciding which is the best one for you. You can't go wrong with either of them. They're absolutely lovely, lovely watches. So there we are. Those are our 7 Rolexes to share with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. We've got another video coming out shortly with some beautiful Daytonas in it, some Datejars, some watches for ladies, some watches for gentlemen. So please come back and see us soon. But meantime, hope you're well. Enjoy the coronation when it comes, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.